In the world of finance, few names carry the weight of Charles Ponzi, a man whose actions left a permanent mark on economic history. His name is synonymous with deceit, greed, and one of the most infamous financial scams of all time. But who was Charles Ponzi? And how did an immigrant with big dreams become the architect of a financial disaster? Carlo Pietro Giovanni Guglielmo Tebaldo Ponzi, better known as Charles Ponzi, was born in 1882 in Lugo, Italy. Coming from a modest background, Ponzi showed early ambitions to rise above his station. Like many young Italians of his era, he dreamed of a better life across the Atlantic in the land of opportunity, America. In 1903, at the age of 21, Ponzi set sail for the United States with little more than a few dollars in his pocket. But America wasn't immediately the golden ticket he had imagined. After arriving in Boston, Ponzi worked a series of odd jobs, washing dishes, waiting tables, and even working as a clerk in a grocery store. Yet Ponzi was always looking for more. Fast forward to 1919. After years of scraping by, Ponzi stumbled upon an idea that he believed would make him rich beyond his wildest dreams. The key lay in something seemingly small and insignificant: postal reply coupons. These were used to prepay postage for international mail, but Ponzi saw a way to exploit differences in exchange rates between countries. Ponzi's plan was to buy these coupons cheaply in one country and redeem them for higher value in another. It sounded simple, almost genius, and Ponzi promised investors extraordinary returns: 50% profit in just 45 days or 100% in 90 days. The deal seemed too good to pass up, and soon investors began pouring in. Within months, Ponzi's operation exploded. Thousands of people flocked to his office, eager to hand over their money in exchange for the promise of enormous returns. At the height of his success, Ponzi was making over $250,000 a day, equivalent to millions in today's money. His wealth was growing at an unimaginable pace. With his newfound fortune, Ponzi lived the high life. He bought a mansion, drove luxury cars, and became the toast of Boston's elite society. To his investors, Ponzi appeared to be a financial genius, but behind the scenes, things were far from what they seemed. The truth was, Ponzi's success wasn't based on international postal reply coupons at all. In fact, he wasn't investing in coupons or anything else. Ponzi was simply using the money from new investors to pay off earlier investors, a classic fraud that we now call a Ponzi scheme. In the summer of 1920, the cracks began to show. Journalists and financial experts started investigating Ponzi's claims. They realized that for his scheme to work as promised, more postal reply coupons would have had to exist than were ever printed in the world. Meanwhile, auditors were taking a closer look at his finances. Once people started asking questions, panic set in. Investors rushed to pull out their money, but by then it was too late. Ponzi's scheme collapsed in spectacular fashion, leaving thousands of people ruined. When authorities finally arrested Ponzi, they discovered that he had stolen over $20 million, around $270 million in today's dollars. Ponzi was convicted of multiple counts of fraud and sentenced to prison. After serving his time, he was deported back to Italy, penniless and disgraced. He spent his final years in poverty, working menial jobs and living out of charity. He died in 1949 in Rio de Janeiro, a far cry from the millionaire lifestyle he once enjoyed. But Ponzi's legacy endures, not as a financial genius, but as the namesake of a scam that continues to deceive people even today. Ponzi schemes have taken on many forms over the decades, from Bernie Madoff's multi-billion-dollar fraud to smaller-scale scams that still prey on unsuspecting investors. The collapse of Ponzi's scheme led to major changes in financial regulation. His fraud highlighted the need for greater oversight and transparency in the financial markets, helping to shape the modern regulatory environment. Today, strict rules and laws exist to prevent such schemes from taking root, but the shadow of Ponzi's original scam still looms large. Charles Ponzi's story is one of ambition, greed, and deception. His rise to fame was as meteoric as his fall, And though he lived over a century ago, his legacy is a stark reminder of the dangers of too good to be true promises. His name will forever be associated with one of the most infamous financial frauds in history. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history's greatest scandals, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.